Welcome back, Selfish Babes. It is your girl, Olenike Osibowale, bringing you back another Selfish Babe podcast episode. And I have Mistress Marley with me today.
Hi. Hey, everybody.
And I'm so excited to bring you guys her because I think what she has to share is going to be really exciting. And I guess a little taboo. I guess it's still considered taboo. But I wanted to share a little bit of my own journey, and I'm here at the House of Dominia. How do you say it?
House of Domina.
Yes, retreat in New Orleans right now. Learning a little bit more about Findom and being a Dom, which is like, huh? I know. And so, of course, when I was scrolling on social media and I see the information that Mistress Marley has shared over the years, I'm also in her Patreon. Make sure to join her Patreon. What's it called?
It's the Sex Academy on patreon.com.
Yes. I was like, I had to be here. And so because I'm here sharing my journey a little bit with you guys, I thought it would be amazing to have Mistress Marley on the podcast. So I'm very honored that you are here today. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored that you asked me to come and be up here. And I'm going to put a little input here before we get started. She shot some content today that was fire. So if she's ever up here like, oh, well, you know, I'm nervous or I'm still learning. Look, it gave off professional. You did really good.
I really appreciate that.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I'm not going to talk. Bitch is talking.
And ended up talking, child. Talking. The sub was loving it. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he really was. It was nice interacting with him, y'all. I'm telling you, it was my first time interacting with a sub in real life. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, literally in real life.
You could not tell.
Well,
you could not tell.
Y'all ever heard of a spiritual bath before? I want you guys to think about my goddess detox pearls as a spiritual bath for your womb, okay? So you're gonna want to cleanse your womb, get rid of negativity, past energy, any blockages with the goddess detox pearls. You're gonna pray over them. The herbs are really good for cleansing, especially the dragon's blood resin. And you're gonna prepare your womb for attraction. Just like when you take a spiritual bath to get rid of negativity or cleanse your house to get rid of negativity, you're specifically using my goddess detox pearls to cleanse your womb space. Now, in order to get it ready for attraction, that's when you bring in my Raining Waterfalls Kind Mata Aphrodisiac set. That set is going to nourish your womb, bring fertility, wetness, sweetness, so that you can attract more of what you want, but you have to cleanse first. So if you have not cleansed, make sure to check out my Goddess Detox Pearls at evolvingbutterfly.org. If you have any questions, leave them below. Peace.
Well, okay, so to start my Selfish Babes off, by the way, I'm an Aquarius, she's an Aquarius, so we're both Aquarius, okay?
Yeah.
That's really good.
Awkward.
Okay. To start us off, what is being a Dom?
So being a Dom, so Dom is short for Dominatrix. So a Dominatrix is a woman that leads a scene with a submissive. It's within the BDSM community. So for those that don't know, BDSM stands for bondage, dominance, sadism, and masochism. There's kink within that. There's so many different things, but a Dom is a Dominatrix. So a lot of people know Doms from like, you know, pop culture, right?
Yeah.
So like 50 Shades of Grey, different types of TV shows, movies, things of that nature. And sometimes it's not shown correctly up there. But Dominatrix takes the lead in a scene. So whether that's humiliating a submissive, making them worship their feet, spanking them, all those different things, that's what being a Dominatrix is. And then you have lifestyle Dom, you have pro Dom, and pro Dom is what we are trying to do here.
Okay.
Because pro domination is where you get paid for it, all right? So lifestyle domination is more so you doing it for lifestyle. You'll have some women that date submissive men or might marry them, that's more lifestyle.
Okay.
But as a pro Dominatrix, which is what I am, I'm for the money. Okay, I'm trying to get paid.
I thought being a pro Dom just meant the amount of years that you had it. I didn't know that was the difference. Yes. That you get paid. Okay.
Yes, because you're a professional, so you get paid for your time.
Okay. Oh, I learned something new just now. So what got you into being a Dominatrix?
So honestly, survival. I was in my second and a half year living in New York, and I felt like I just could not pay my bills. Like, I felt like I was always chasing a bill, like just making just enough. And I remember I had lost my job due to an injury. I had like broke my foot, and I was just randomly Googling how to make money online as a woman, because back in college I stripped for a little bit, so I always knew about the sex work realm, but more so just like more so from the point of view of being there to please the man or make the man feel like, you know, it's all about him. So I stumbled across financial domination on Google.
Okay.
And when I clicked it, I was like, this is not real. I'm like, there's no way that men are sending women just for talking, like sending women money just for talking shit to them.
Yeah.
And I think within my first week, I made like $50.
Wow.
And I remember telling my friends about it, and they were like, no way. And I was like, yeah. So I came into this through survival.
Okay.
And by chance, I guess I'll even say like luck, finding it on Google, you know.
And maybe, I mean, I will just push a little bit, maybe just a part of your destiny.
Yeah, alignment.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay, and so in your years doing this, what are some pros, what are some cons?
So I'll say the pros are, especially doing this now for so long that it's my main job, the pros are being able to make my schedule whenever I want, make money whenever I want, knowing there's always a man there that's ready to serve me, run my errands, do my laundry, send me money for this or that, just always having that. Community as well. So meeting so many amazing people, throwing amazing events such as this, where I get to connect with people that are so great, such as you, and different types of backgrounds and things of that nature. I will say the cons are sometimes men feel like we are kink dispensers. So sometimes there are men in this industry and in this world that feel like 24/7 we're doms. We don't have no other life. We're just there for, you know, they'll send us money and be like, can you humiliate me? They don't, sometimes you have men that won't be like, hey, do you have the space to do this right now? They just sometimes think of it as kink dispensers.
I'm ready to go.
Exactly. And then also some cons as well can be like, just feeling like you have to do so much to be one step ahead because the industry is always changing. And then also there's a lot of misconceptions too of feeling like, you know, some people come into this and think that they're going to make money the first time overnight. But it's that con of a lot of people feeling like because they're not doing what other doms are doing, like doms like me that have all these years of experience, imposter syndrome. So that can be a con as well if you're not confident in yourself.
Okay. Being a dominatrix is also considered sex work, right?
Yes, it is sex work.
And so, was there ever a moment in your journey where you had to let go of any shame associated with what you did, or you've never been shameful of what you've done?
I've never been shameful. Like even when I was a stripper in college, I always thought it was cool. It was empowering to me. I always felt like the baddest bitch. If there was a little bit of like, oh, if so and so found out I was doing this, it would be whatever, and that was the thrill in me too. You know, it's Aquarius too. We walk to the beat of our own drum. We don't give a fuck. Everybody could be pointing at us, laughing, and we would be like, oh, well, we're still better than you. You know, like we'll kind of be that way because we're confident in ourselves. So for me, there was never any shame. Also, the reason why I like being a dominatrix is because yes, it is sex work, but it's a different type of sex work where I feel like my control is different. For instance, they never have to see me naked. They touch me if I want them to touch me. It's all about my boundaries. It's about their boundaries as well, but my boundaries matter. I never feel like I have to jeopardize my morals of who I am to be a dominatrix. And
when it comes to safety, being a dominatrix, what are some tips you would give?
So safety is really, really big. The biggest thing in this industry is consent, because consent is mandatory. Consent goes both ways. Consent can be reversed, and consent can be taken away at any time. Like if I don't consent to something, I can take away that privilege of giving you the consent. You don't have to have it just because maybe I liked you 5 minutes ago, but that can change. Another thing too is vetting the submissives that you're doing sessions with. So if you have a submissive that wants you to see him in a dungeon or meet up even just to give you cash, like a cash meet, vetting them, background checks, IDs, asking them for references is really, really big. Me personally, if a sub doesn't have a reference or never sessions with anybody, I personally don't take them. So that's really, really big with safety. Also, like I said, community is big as well, because within community, we build something called blacklists, where if there are subs that are mistreating people or doing things wrong, we share a list of those names to help our fellow dominatrix sister or however someone might identify. So safety is very, very important, because at the end of the day, the money is not worth it if your safety is jeopardized, because you did all that for what? Just to be unsafe, just to be harmed, you know?
That's true. So what are some kinks you can give us? Because so as somebody that has never heard of this, and they're like, okay, session for what? Okay, they give you money, but what are you doing?
So the first kink, since I brought it up, which is financial domination. So financial domination is a kink where pretty much a dominatrix controls the submissive's wallet, their finances, their money. We call the submissive a pay pig. So it's kind of like a human ATM. Like whenever I need money, I can go and I can say I need $500 and they'll dispense it. That's what financial domination is, and a lot of that is psychological. So it's a lot about playing with their mind and pretty much kind of like persuading them to give you money without begging. So we never beg as dominatrix. It comes to us easily. When I talk about sessions are things where when you meet up with the submissive to do maybe certain physical acts. And when I say physical acts, they aren't always necessarily sexual, because being a dominatrix comes down to what you're comfortable with doing. So this could be impact play. Impact play is when you might see people taking the paddle and spanking their sub, taking the flogger and whipping them. Feet worship is really big. This industry is big on feet. So if you're someone that doesn't want to show your face, maybe you got a private life, your feet can make you just as much money. That's another form of session as well. Verbal humiliation. You have some subs that want you to call them dumb, that want you to call them a loser. They get off by feeling low. And you know, trying to explain this to people on the outside is like, what? But it's really a whole, I don't even want to say it's really a secret society anymore, because more people are learning about it. But it's something where that if you get it, you get it, and not everybody's gonna get it.
And I will say this, like the humiliation part, like I am somebody who has studied psychology. I love knowing why people do certain things. And so I know in some instances there are some men that are in high CEO positions, doctors, lawyers, and they're always thinking all the time. They're always making a decision all the time. And so maybe in their kink life, they're like, hey, one of their kinks is being humiliated, or maybe just being controlled, because they don't want to have to think for maybe that hour or two, or you know, they don't want to always have to make those type of decisions. They just want to relax. And so what I'm getting is that for some subs, it's a part of like maybe resetting a nervous system. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say that too. Would you say so? Yeah,
I would definitely say so. And like you said, a lot of these men are in high positions. There's even some like celebrities and athletes and things of that nature, and all day there's a boss. They're telling people what to do. But even if they can just come to me for an hour and relinquish that power, it does something for them to know that I'm in control. And it does something even more for me to be a black woman doing that to them as well. So it's different dynamics that come to play. But yeah,
a lot of your clients are white.
Yes, I want to say majority. I want to say 90%.
Okay, age range.
So the age range usually like is from 25 to 60 years old. You just never know. And a lot of people pass by men on the street every day and don't know that they're submissive, and those men are submissive.
And I don't know if you ever thought about this, but why do you think that there's so many white men that are into being dominated by black women specifically?
Well, you know, when we first came up here, you know, you talked about taboo, right? So I think it's a taboo thing as well, because for them, a lot of white people socially interact from their circles and their family members' opinions and friends' opinions, right? Some black people do it as well, but for the most part, black people, we gonna do what we want to do. So with white people, it's like, okay, a lot of their shame can come from family and friends. So for them in their head, it's like, oh, if my uncle knew that I was worshiping on the floor of black women, or if my mother knew, or if my father knew, I'd be disowned. And that thrills like a chase to them of wanting to do that. Some of them also want to give reparations. I have a lot of white men that apologize for their race. They'll come in my inbox and say, I want to apologize on behalf of my race. I want to apologize because of Trump. Like they'll say stuff like that, and then they'll want to give money. So it's so many different reasons why they do it. But the biggest reason I find is the shame, is they feel like they're going to be judged and things of that nature. So for them, it kind of gives them a high and like something they're chasing.
I would say in my online interactions with some sub, just asking and inquiring, some there's one sub that was talking to me about foot worship, and I was inquiring with them like why they like it and how come they feel like they probably couldn't do this with like their lover or their girlfriend. And they said, she may think I'm too weird, or I have tried it before and they think I'm too weird. And so I find it interesting, because you guys know I always talk about like just being yourself and being authentic. I'm a lover girl, so in my love life, I like to be my authentic self. I want my lover to be their authentic selves. But I did not consider that there are people in relationships that do not necessarily feel that they can be their self 100% of the time, or like you said, feel like they're going to be judged. And so for him, he was like, well, he likes doing different sessions and different things like that because he can be himself in that thing. And you know what I was just realizing, I think a few days ago, and somebody had put this perspective in my mind, but it was like, as a dominatrix, you do give space for these subs to be themselves. And I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we do. Like, we give them space to be themselves. We give them space to be able to trust us. Because a lot of them, when they come to us, they're trusting us with a lot. They're trusting us with their physical body. They're trusting us mentally, emotionally, because there's a lot of different emotions that they feel. It's not just, oh, I slapped them on their ass and physically they felt that. It's like, oh, I slapped them with a paddle, and now that might have awakened something inside of them to, oh, like this might have awakened this emotion or a thought or a memory. A lot of them too come to us with traumas, which I try to tell them, like, we are not a replacement for therapy. We're not here to be your therapist. That's not what we are. We're here to take your maybe your traumas or certain things you have on and turn it into power, your kinks and fetishes into power. We're here to help you get through those kinks and fetishes, because some of them also need help understanding why they like certain things, and we're here to also help them with that. But you know, it's just interesting on the different reasons why people will come to you. You know, I had a sub one time who was very, very depressed, trigger warning almost on the side of like suicide, and he said seeing me in sessions helped him. It helped turn a lot of things around for him. So when outsiders see it, they see it as like, oh, look at those weirdos doing this or whatever. But on the inside, we know that a lot of this work is healing as well.
That's such a really good perspective, Mistress Marley, because I honestly do not think that perspective is talked enough about.
No,
which is why I said just that shift that I had about them being able to be their authentic self, that was like a recent thing that happened for me. And so as a dom or somebody that's learning more about this world, it shifts my perspective. And so I was listening to a podcast episode you have on your own podcast. Can you say the name of your podcast?
Yeah, so my podcast is called Dom in the City, DOMME in the City. Y'all gotta work with me a little bit because I'm still like new in this podcast.
Listen to what's there.
Yeah, listen to what's there. Okay, it's some good stuff that's there, but I'm working on it more this year, having more episodes.
Yes, and you bring on other doms.
Yes,
and even subs.
Yes.
You bring in an array of people, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
But I was listening to an episode that you had with Goddess Gina, and I remember you saying that sometimes after sessions you'll go to your altar. And so with me saying that, how is you being a dominatrix connected to your spirituality, or how do you bring in the spiritual with you being a dominatrix?
So I was spiritual before I was a dom.
Yeah.
So before I even knew what financial domination was and did that Google search, I was always spiritual. I was spiritual more so on the side of manifestation, law of attraction. I read a lot of books by Neville Goddard.
Yeah.
I believe in the feeling of knowing that you have your reality already. You think it, you have it.
Yeah.
So for me, when I became a dominatrix, it all kind of went hand in hand, because first of all, I feel like I manifested the dominatrix lifestyle, right? So I saw financial domination and instantly I went more into manifestation mode, knowing that I didn't just want to be a number in this industry. I wanted to be the number, you know? So once I got more into domination work, I started doing more spirituality stuff. I remember one of my first readings was from Miela Doce. And from there, she was telling me so many things, like you're supposed to be doing this and that. You're supposed to be connecting with your ancestors. So then I built out like my ancestor altar, because you know, as Aquarius, we study and research. So I studied and researched so many different things, and then I was able to kind of put it hand in hand, because I was realizing that the praise that I was getting during my domination sessions was kind of fueling my spirituality. It was kind of like as if my body was an altar and the praise from them was feeding. And
it is though.
Yeah.
But it is though.
Yeah, and it was like feeding me, and I would leave the sessions. Like I've heard of some people leave sessions, they feel drained. I would leave sessions and feel just so like,
wow.
Like this is affirming to me. Like to see them praising me at my feet. Like, yes, you better praise me. So that's how it comes, like, you know, together. And also too, I do a lot of dominance rituals. I do I have a dominance oil that I have that I've made. I do different things that make me more appealing to the submissives and things of that nature. So to me, it's all interconnected.
I liked that. I love that perspective. And even today, when I was, what do we call what I was doing? Content creation
and killing it.
Content creation. The thought came to me because you guys know I talk about affirmations, the power of your words, etc. And so I'm like, okay, let me go in the mirror, let me sing my affirmations. You know what? I want my sub to affirm me. That's what I want. And so that's what he did. And I said, okay. Like I was getting my groove of like what I like, but for me, like being a goddess is that type of worship. And I think going into the dom world, it's a natural part of my journey. I think it's a natural part of my journey, which is so interesting. And so that's why for me, as I'm learning, it's a little taboo, but it's almost like this is a natural progression of my womanhood. I guess that's the way I would say it's a natural progression of my womanhood.
But seeing you do the affirmation content today was so interesting because, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for so long and I've done market research and I see things and I have not seen that type of content yet. So I was like, this is new. Like, and I loved it. And it was done so well and it was done with a level of class. And I love things that are done with a level of class. So it was great. It was really good. I was like, yes.
Yeah, and you know, even today, when I was talking to Mistress Unknown, I was telling her that I have to make my subs cleanse themselves, whether I physically see them do it in front of me or tell them what to do. But even before them coming to me, I need them to burn the tobacco, wash off with something. And so as I'm learning what kind of Dom I am or want to be and connecting what I actually do in my real life, I'm adding it to that. And so even today, right after, I went to the Crescent Conjure, gotten some different things or whatever, and I was like, okay, this is going to be part of like my own personal protocol. And so it's interesting because I always tell my selfish babes, or you guys know that I consider myself to be a goddess, and you guys know even on my YouTube channel it's Diaries of a Goddess, just a goddess life in general, and this is just an aspect that I'm learning in terms of my world of being a goddess. And so I feel like being a dominatrix, getting that praise and worship, adding it to my spiritual practice, being cognizant of who I am dealing with and who I'm not dealing with, is really good for my spirituality as well. And I think it's also helping my own self-concept as a woman. And so even when we talk about being a dominatrix, like you get that get that boost of confidence. You talked about self-concept being extremely important. Tell us about that, what that is and why.
So self-concept, I mean, even if you're not extremely spiritual, self-concept is talked about a lot in manifestation. So if you're someone that just manifests or does affirmations, your self-concept is how you view yourself no matter who's around. No matter what outside influence is there, no matter your family, friends, co-workers, your self-concept is who you think of yourself as you're going to bed at night. So when you're going to sleep, who am I? How do I think of myself? Do I love myself? Do I feel like I can accomplish all these great things? Your self-concept, the better it is, the better you are at manifesting, because you're subconsciously feeding yourself thoughts about your self-concept. So yourself will catch on and say, okay, well, I hear myself saying that I am great and I can have anything I want in life. So that's true. Let me dig that more into my subconscious brain so it comes true quicker. Some people might have negative self-concept where they're like, I can't do anything right today, or today's going to go wrong. And sometimes those thoughts come in without us really controlling it. And it's natural. We're human. Even Neville Goddard said in his book that we do still have bad thoughts and it's okay to have those. But your self-concept, the more you work on it, the better it is. And self-concept is very big in this industry because the dominatrix industry is an industry full of ego. You will see a lot of people all day long, especially online, that are cocky, that are not humble, which you don't have to be in this industry, that are bragging about the things they have. And if your self-concept is not good, you can operate from a place of jealousy.
And always comparing.
Envy, comparison. You know, they say comparison is a thief of joy, which it really, really is. And you won't really feel authentic in your journey. So your self-concept is really, really important. Even not as a dominatrix.
Just in general.
Just in general. You need to think of yourself so highly because you have this one body, this one self. You know, so look at it in that way.
And I want to mention the jealousy aspect. I think a lot of, and I tell this to some people, I think a lot of people don't know how to healthily navigate jealousy. You're jealous because somebody has something that you want, you desire. Now, how do you talk yourself through that without wishing bad on that person? You know what I'm trying to say? You don't have to do that. Oh, I'm realizing I just want this thing. How can I get that thing? What are the steps that I can take?
We all have
What's
the same 24 hours.
What are the affirmations? What are the things I can do? And so just letting everybody know, I know sometimes like jealousy has a negative. If you healthily deal with it, you'll figure out more about yourself. And I think that's the point. You had mentioned something in one of on the seminar day. And I think you were talking about, because sometimes you do like the paddling, right? You had mentioned, I don't know what you said, but you're like, there's an intention. Can you tell me more about that?
So like, you have to do everything in life with intention, right? And when you do stuff with intention, it feels more authentic. It feels more good. So I would never go in a session with a sub and spank them and be like, just ready to go home, child. Like if I'm at that point and it's not enjoyable, I'm going to back out of it. So when I say like I paddle my subs with intention, is because I paddle them because it gives a connection to my body. So when I take my paddle and I'm hitting them and it connects, it's like a surge of energy goes up my arm and like feeds me. It feeds that altar. It feeds that sense of, okay, not only am I doing this and it's bringing me joy, but I'm looking at how the sub's body is interacting and they're loving it. So me, with my skill and what I'm doing, I hold the power. So without me hitting you, he's not going to feel that. He's not going to get that enjoyment. I control the enjoyment. And to be able to have control like that, where also the sub trusts you, because the sub has to trust that you're not going to injure them beyond repair, and that you're also being intentional, right? So that's what I mean when I move with intention, when I'm doing things of that nature. I'm always intentional. I'm always in the moment when I'm interacting with my submissives.
That's definitely a good perspective. Thank you, because I wanted to ask you that at the seminar time, but I forgot. And I was like, I'm going to ask you that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy I asked you that. Now going back to some of those kinks like humiliation, paddling, ball busting, how are we navigating what some of the subs are working through? So let's say there's a sub and he really enjoys getting his balls kicked. Like, I don't know, what are the conversations you guys are having about that? Like, have you said, why do you really like this? Like, I don't know. That's what I'm wondering.
So to me, like, it just depends on, because there are different connections with different subs. For some subs, like if a sub wants me to kick me in the balls, it is what it is. We're gonna talk about the safety about it, the boundaries, and we're just gonna have session. Then you have some subs where you might have more in-depth conversations, like, why do you want this? Why do you like this? Some subs will just come right out and tell you before you even ask, like, Mistress, I really like to be kicked in the balls because it makes me feel worthless and low, and it makes me feel like I'm only good for being kicked in the balls, and I feel like that's something that I want you to do, right? So sometimes it's just, they just explain it as they feel like they deserve it, or sometimes it gives them a high, which to me, in my mind, I'm thinking like, this has from what I've heard from my guy friends, that's the most painful thing ever. So for them to also want to book that, to me, that's also a sense of trust. And to me, that's a sense of vulnerability that you have to be really, really, really vulnerable to show.
You're right, because that is a very sensitive area.
If, true. If that same man was to go down the street to regular people and say, I want to get kicked in the balls, people are going to look at him crazy. They're going to think you're insane and all those different things. So it varies from sub to sub.
There was a guy in one of the photos that the girls posted that said, if you humiliate me, I might just come. I just thought that was so funny. And I was like, that's a sub.
Yeah, they get off by humiliation. So it's so many different things.
Yeah, I think I was scrolling on my timeline and I seen one girl, she had her boots on and she had a sub in front of her that gave her probably about $4,000 in cash. And he just wanted her to spit on him and then walk on him, and that was the end of the session. And she made $4,000. I was like, wow, that's really nice.
Period. As she should.
Now, there's one thing you had talked about, Mistress, seminar day, and it was just about leaving a legacy. At what point in your Dom career where you're like, I want to leave a legacy, and why is that so important for you?
I knew within my first year that I wanted to leave a legacy. Because like I said, I do everything with intention. There's nothing I do where I'm going to half-ass it or just do it just because I see it's trendy or whatever. Because at the time, it wasn't trendy. I didn't know about a lot of the things. I had to come in and learn a lot of things myself. So legacy for me is just leaving a path for other women that look like me, other women that might not look like me, but for them to feel like they belong, for them to feel like they can conquer anything. Because it's one thing to read online like, you're powerful, you can do anything you want to do. But then it's another thing to see somebody else walking in that and also trying to pass that along to you. Because there's so much gatekeeping in this industry alone. Like I said, it's kind of like a secret society. And there's so much gatekeeping in this industry alone that I don't want a lot of people to have to experience that. Because also, navigating this industry by yourself can be unsafe if you don't know what you're doing. So for me, leaving a legacy is just really being my true self, connecting with women like you, women that I also feel like can be my homegirl. I always tell people I never want to be here and somebody's here. We're equal, you're excelling past me and I'm learning from, we're doing something, but I never want to see myself as being above you.
There's a reciprocity.
Exactly. So I also never want to have events where I feel like no one can connect with me. No one can come talk to me, or I'm just sitting there and it's just like, oh, she's not approachable.
And you've heard that a lot with women events, that women have
said
that
gosh.
before.
With these women brunches that be going crazy.
They said, oh, they're mean girls in real life.
Right. If they're like mean girl brunches, and I'm like, but you know what? I've been to events like that, so I get what they mean. But for me, leaving a legacy is just leaving, having community, always consistent community, passing the torch to whoever I can pass it to, and just just having a good time too. Like I try to do this to have a good time. Like people that meet me see that I'm goofy. I have a sense of humor. I'm not stuck up. I want to be able to laugh in this. Everything doesn't have to be so stuck up or whatever. I want us to have a good time. So that's what I want my legacy to be.
And I think even watching today at dinner, all the thank yous that people are really giving you, Mistress Marley, really giving you your flowers for what you've done, and even your mentor giving you, her flowers. That's amazing. It's always nice to have that.
Yeah.
But you creating this community, because at one point, I guess what you were saying is that it was lonely, it was hard. And so to be able to have other women around you that look like you, and even that doesn't look like you, do this, now it's like, oh yeah, let's go to this femdom ball together. Oh, let's go here together. Let's do this together. I think it's really beautiful. I'm happy that I came.
Thank you. I'm happy you came too.
Yeah, thank you.
And to see you help Miela with the bag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is such an Aquarius thing. We're gonna build a community.
An Aquarius, bro.
Yes. I'm like, we're gonna build a community. If no one else steps up, we're gonna step up. And the thing about being Aquarius is sometimes we step up for people when we know it's not gonna be returned. But for some reason that empath, the humanitarianness just have to do it. But I love that about us. That's why we're always so blessed too. Yeah.
I was gonna say, even the fact that Miela had asked me for the bath, I know I went with her when she went to the Haiti trip, and I've told you guys about the Haiti trip. Y'all listen to that episode that she was on. And I do spiritual baths. I make them in my everyday life. It's a part of my cleansing, and it's something that I've taught women how to do before. And so in that moment, I felt like spirit was giving me divine alignment, like, hey girl, you do this, come on. And that was beautiful for me to be able to do that and share that with everybody. Any last things you think anybody should know about the work that you do, and if they're interested in becoming a dom, where would you direct them?
So if you're interested in becoming a dom, the first thing I would say is go on my Instagram, Mistress Marley Official. I give a lot of great gems up there. I want you to first go up there and just look at the environment and what it looks like, because some people, they just hear what I'm saying about getting paid to exist and they want to jump right in. But I really want you guys to look at the nuances of that and what's going on behind it. Also, too, come to retreats like this, come to events like this. If you want to start small, I feel smaller goddess brunches in different cities. We're going to DC June 28th. There's going to be a goddess brunch in DC. We're doing Dallas this year. We're doing Atlanta. Those dates will come out later. With Mistress Unknown that we talked about, I'm doing a camp femdom retreat in September. So that retreat is like, we're going to be camping, we're glamping, because I'm not an outdoors person, so I need the best accommodations. But we're going to be doing glamping where we're going to have subs and stuff of that nature. But one thing I will say is just connect with people, find community, do as much research as you can before you really jump into this, because this is something that's also work. Sex work is work. And a lot of people don't realize that, right? A lot of people see the glamour of it and they think like, oh, well, I can get paid $5,000 and have my bills paid just for slapping a man in the face. But there's so much that goes on behind that.
I thought this came to my mind.
What?
You went to Atlanta and there was, I think it was an event that Candy threw.
Yes, the Dungeon Tour.
And I think Juvenile was there.
Yeah.
I was in the audience and you were with a sub. Yeah, I remember. Sorry. I wanted to tell you that. Yes. I was there in the audience. And I saw her with her sub.
Yeah, that event was, that was fun. That was a great opportunity. But also check out my Patreon. So patreon.com/thesexacademy. When I tell y'all it's very, very affordable, literally it's $5.
Yes.
And you get over 300 classes. Sex Academy has been around. April we celebrated 5 years.
Congratulations.
So that's 5 years of information up there, y'all, for $5, which is insane. I don't know where else you'd be able to find something like that. And we also have a Discord community. So you pay $5 and you get your own little online community where eventually you can meet up with people. So that's the best place to start. The Patreon, it has everything from the basics to the advanced stuff. And yeah.
My last question, what do you do for your mental health in this industry? Like, what do you do for you?
So my mental health is, I pour a lot into like vanilla hobbies. So I love horror films. I'm very big. I love research and filmmaking. I love reading a lot of non-fictional books.
I like non-fictional books too.
Yeah. I like science, like sci-fi stuff. I'm a foodie, so I love trying different restaurants. I love the outdoors in the sense of like gardens and parks and things of that nature. So my mental health is more so nurturing my vanilla hobby. So for those that don't know, vanilla is your regular life outside of the BDSM world. So it's nurturing those things. Also, sometimes as Aquarius, we just get in hermit mode. I like to just be in my bed, no makeup, no nothing, watching TV, researching the craziest things. But a lot of my mental health, a lot of things I do for is reading, text me other places.
Aww,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think there was a time I was reading a lot of factual things. Is factual the nonfiction ones, or nonfiction is the fantasy stuff? Anyways, I'm just saying, I was reading a lot of factual stuff because in school you have to study and read and all the things. And I used to be a big reader. I read all the Harry Potter books, all the things.
Oh my God, me too. So, you have to take a little test after.
Yes, and I always had a good score on those tests.
Okay.
But I realized going into the fantasy stuff or the stuff that's not real, help with my imagination. And I think sometimes we don't be in our imagination enough. Sometimes we're just in the mundane of the everyday world. And so being able to be in your imagination is really good for manifestation.
It is. Okay? It is. I was just thinking, I was going to say that. You sit there right now. I love I love thinking about the most craziest things, beautiful things, and just knowing that it's going to come into play. And one song that I always look back to is Solange's song, Things I Imagine. Because everything you imagine can come to your reality.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, Mistress Marley, for being on the podcast. I appreciate
Thank you for having me. This was a really great interview.
Yeah.
I love it. I love to talk about spirituality. It's not a lot of podcasts. Well, honestly, I don't go on podcasts and talk about spirituality aside from my own. And I've been on a lot of podcasts and I've never touched base on that.
I like, that's why I said the Selfish Babe podcast, everything woman, spirituality, and real. And real can go with so many topics. But like, I'm a spiritual woman. I love talking about like the taboo stuff. Like even when I went to Haiti, I just went to learn. And I wanted to learn voodoo in the way that I know is beautiful and real, and not what people have portrayed on TV.
Demonized it, yes.
And I know there's some people that do fuck shit. We all know that. But I wanted to see the beauty of it, and so I like to show that to people because I feel like when I was in my 20s, early 20s, I wanted to see that. You know, so to be able to bring somebody on and showcase a little bit of that, so I feel like. With you and the way that you talked about it, I was like, yeah, there is a spiritual connection to this, and how is your spirituality connected to your dawn work, you know? And it also gives perspective for other women that may be spiritual or want to tap into the spiritual. So even you bringing Miela, doing the back and all that, like it all connects. And I think it's beautiful because for me, like I told you, that spiritual hygiene shit is real. Like do you cleanse yourself after session?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'll be running home to do that. I'll be running.
Girl, I went to that botanica so fast.
You have to. You really have to. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'll be ready. I feel so good after I do. I'll be ready. Like,
okay, see?
Yeah.
You always got to be talking about your spiritual hygiene, people.
Stay ready.
Every day,
gotta get ready.
Day. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mistress Marley.
Yes, you're welcome.
So I wanted to add that if you are interested in looking into being a dominatrix or just even learning more about it, Mistress Marley will be in Atlanta on August 23rd, 2025 at the Goddess Brunch Atlanta, which is an event that she is hosting. And so you can go on her Twitter. I believe her Twitter is Mistress Marley. I'll have it below, where you can see videos of her past goddess brunches. But just to read a little bit about the event, it says, join Mistress Marley for a thrilling evening dedicated to the celebration of dominant women and dominant dynamics. This unique event will feature a variety of activities designed to empower, educate, and entertain. There will be a kink performance, a dog walking workshop, networking opportunities, and practice to also be able to practice on real life submissive safely and consensually. Tickets start at $80. I'm going to put the link below, but if you are in Atlanta and you're interested in going to the Goddess Brunch, you can click the link and then you can go. All right, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Make sure that when you are sharing it in your story post to tag Mistress Marley as well as me, Olenike Osibawale. Peace. Bye.